Welcome the Lord's chosen. They tried to bury you not knowing you were a seed, and now their nightmares grow roots. In a world where conformity is worshipped and mediocrity hides behind fake smiles, there exists a rare breed of individuals, the chosen ones. They're not born to fit in, they're born to disrupt. Studies reveal that only 2% of people possess the psychological resilience to turn adversity into dominance. That's not just rare, it's terrifying. And here's the kicker. If you're one of them, your mere existence makes your haters break into a sweat faster than a bad lie on a polygraph. Why? Because while they're busy running in circles, you're out here rewriting the rules of the game. So sit tight. Let's explore why you, yes, you, are the most dangerous thing they've ever encountered. Don't worry if this feels a little intense. It's not their fault they're scared. After all, nobody likes to hear footsteps when they're running away. Number one, you play chess in a world of checkers. You play chess in a world of checkers. And that's what sets you apart. While others are caught up in simple reactive thinking, you're already strategizing, calculating, and seeing patterns they can't even comprehend. They're moving one piece at a time, hoping to survive. But you're creating an entire game plan that ensures you don't just survive, you dominate. This ability to think ahead is what makes you dangerous. It's not just intelligence, it's your ability to stay calm while others are scrambling. When people react emotionally, they make mistakes. You don't fall for their traps because you've already mapped out every possible outcome. They don't know what's coming next because you've mastered the art of unpredictability. That's why they can't keep up. The world often rewards quick wins and surface-level achievements, but you understand that true power lies in the long game. You're patient when others are impulsive, methodical when they're chaotic. That frustrates them because their usual tricks, distractions, petty gossip, or empty drama don't work on you. You've outgrown their games entirely. Here's the part that really stings. You don't just outthink them, you outlast them. They're exhausted from their short-term victories while you're still moving forward, unbothered and unshaken. Every move you make is intentional, calculated, and unstoppable. They think they're competing with you, but they're really just running in circles, stuck in a game you've already won. This is what they fear most. You don't operate on their level. Your vision stretches beyond their limits, and that kind of foresight is terrifying to those who only think about today. They can't figure out how to beat someone who's already won before the game even starts, and that's what makes you untouchable. Number two, your silence is louder than their noise. Your silence is louder than their noise, and that's what unsettles them the most. In a world where everyone is clamoring to be heard, where people talk just to fill the air, you stand apart. You don't explain yourself, you don't justify your actions, and you don't waste energy engaging in petty arguments. And that, right there, is your power. People are used to chaos, loud voices, endless opinions, empty bravado. It's their comfort zone because they think volume equals strength. But when you move quietly, confidently, without the need for applause, it unnerves them. They can't predict your next move, and nothing terrifies people more than what they don't understand. Your silence forces them to confront themselves. Without your reaction to fuel their drama, they're left exposed, desperate for validation that never comes. They poke, they prod, they gossip, and they wait for a response. But you don't give them the satisfaction. Instead, you operate in the shadows, letting your actions do all the talking. And actions, they're far louder than any words could ever be. Here's the thing. When you're silent, people start making up their own stories about you. They overthink, overanalyze, and eventually they trip over their own assumptions. That's why silence is a weapon. It's not passivity, it's precision. You control the narrative without saying a word. And when you do speak, every word lands like a punch because they've been waiting, hanging on to every moment of your quiet. You don't just enter a conversation, you own it. They wanted noise, but you gave them power instead. That's the kind of silence that's deafening. That's the kind of silence that wins wars before they even begin. Number three, your wins redefine the rules. Your wins don't just break records, they rewrite the rules. While others measure success by playing within boundaries someone else created, you step in and redefine what's possible. This isn't about being better at their game, it's about creating a new one entirely. That's what makes you so dangerous. You're not competing on their terms, and that leaves them scrambling, trying to figure out how to keep up. Most people are comfortable with predictable victories, small, safe achievements that don't rock the boat, but when you win, it's seismic. Your success forces everyone to reevaluate what they thought was possible, and that scares them. It's not just that you succeed, it's how you do it, with a level of audacity that makes the old ways obsolete. They hate it because it shows them just how limited their vision has always been. And here's the kicker. Your wins don't follow a script. You don't take the well-trodden path or rely on formulas. You innovate, disrupt, and flip the system on its head. That unpredictability makes you unstoppable. They can't copy your methods because you're already onto the next move, leaving them stuck in outdated strategies that no longer work. What really burns them is how effortless you make it look. They don't see the grind, the sleepless nights, or the moments of doubt you've overcome. All they see is the result, a level of success that makes their accomplishments look small. And instead of being inspired, they become bitter. Because your wins don't just shine a light on your greatness, they expose their mediocrity. Your victories aren't just milestones, they're turning points. They change the game, the rules, and the expectations. And in doing so, you leave no room for competition, only admiration or envy. Number 4, they hate what they can't outwork. Your success isn't a matter of luck, it's the result of relentless effort. You don't rely on shortcuts, and you don't wait for opportunities to fall into your lap. Instead, you outwork everyone around you, pouring your energy, focus, and determination into everything you do. And that's what they hate the most. They can't match your stamina, so they write you off as lucky instead of acknowledging the grind they can't replicate. Most people give up when things get hard. They complain about obstacles, blame their circumstances, and wait for an easier path. But you thrive in the chaos. You keep going when everyone else has tapped out, pushing yourself beyond limits they didn't even know existed. Your work ethic is your superpower, and it's one they'll never understand because they're not willing to put in the same level of effort. The truth is, they want the results without the sacrifice. They want the success you've earned, but aren't willing to pay the price it demands. It's easier for them to envy you than to take a hard look at their own habits and realize they're not putting in the work. Your dedication forces them to confront their own laziness, and that's a reflection they'd rather avoid. What really bothers them is that you make it look effortless. They don't see the late nights, the early mornings, or the countless sacrifices you've made to get where you are. All they see is the outcome, and it makes their own excuses feel hollow. They hate what they can't outwork because it reminds them of their own limits, their own lack of discipline. And while they're busy hating, you're busy winning. Number 5, you weaponize their doubt. When they doubt you, it's supposed to slow you down. Their dismissive looks, sarcastic comments, and constant underestimations are meant to chip away at your confidence. But for you, doubt isn't a deterrent, it's a weapon. Every time they underestimate you, it fuels your fire. You take their sneers and turn them into stepping stones, proving them wrong in ways they never saw coming. The brilliance of your mindset is that you don't waste time trying to convince them of your worth. Instead, you let your actions do the talking. Their doubt sharpens your focus, pushing you to work harder, think smarter, and move faster. It doesn't matter how many times they count you out. You use that as motivation to make your comeback even more powerful. What's even more satisfying is watching their reactions when you succeed. They thought their doubt would break you, but instead it made you unshakable. You don't just overcome obstacles, you obliterate them, leaving no room for them to deny your strength. Their disbelief becomes the very thing that drives you to prove them wrong, and the harder they push against you, the stronger you become. What they don't realize is that their doubt says more about them than it does about you. It reveals their fear, their insecurities, and their lack of vision. They can't see past their own limitations, so they project those onto you. But you see their doubt for what it really is, an opportunity to rise even higher. In the end, their doubt doesn't diminish you. It empowers you. It becomes a tool you use to sharpen your edge, refine your skills, and solidify your place as an unstoppable force. Their skepticism isn't a roadblock, it's a catalyst for your greatness. And number 6, your aura outshines their intentions. You don't need to say a word to make an impact. Your presence alone does the job. The moment you enter a room, everything shifts. People notice you, not because you demand their attention, but because your energy is undeniable, even in a space full of critics. Their plans to undermine you crumble under the sheer weight of your confidence. Your aura speaks louder than their words, and it speaks the truth. You're a force to be reckoned with. Your strength doesn't come from arrogance or showmanship, it comes from authenticity. People can sense when someone knows exactly who they are, and that kind of certainty is intimidating. Those who seek to bring you down can't figure out how to handle it. They try to overshadow you with gossip, schemes, or petty manipulation, but none of it works. Your energy is too bright, too powerful, and it effortlessly exposes their smallness. What they don't realize is that their efforts to outshine you only amplify your presence. The more they try to compete, the more obvious the gap becomes. You don't need to play their games because you've already won simply by being yourself. And while they're exhausting themselves trying to get noticed, you stand tall, unbothered, and unapologetically dominant. The beauty of your aura is its ability to disarm. Even those who come in with bad intentions find themselves questioning their motives when faced with your unwavering confidence. It's not that you intimidate them outright, it's that you make them feel small. In the shadow of your authenticity, your presence alone demands respect. It's a silent, unrelenting reminder that no matter how loud their schemes may be, they'll never match the quiet power of someone who knows their worth. Number 7, you don't just survive, you thrive. Most people break under pressure. They crumble when things get hard, retreating into safety nets and making excuses, but not you. Where others see chaos, you see opportunity. Where others would fold, you rise. You've taken every setback, every insult, every obstacle and turned it into a stepping stone. You're not just surviving, you're thriving, and that terrifies them. When life throws you challenges, you don't run from them, you face them head on. You've learned how to turn pain into progress, setbacks into strength. You've built yourself out of situations that would have broken most people. That's what they don't understand. You're not strong because life has been kind to you. You're strong because you fought for every inch of your progress. What really scares them is your ability to adapt. They can't pin you down or predict your moves because you're always evolving. You've turned resilience into an art form, finding ways to grow even in the most hostile environments. While they're stuck in survival mode, you're thriving in spaces they thought were impossible to navigate. They expected you to give up, to crumble under the weight of their criticism and the challenges you've faced. Instead, you've turned every scar into a blueprint, using your pain as a guide to build something extraordinary. Your success isn't just inspiring, it's intimidating. It's proof that no matter how hard they try to knock you down, you'll always come back stronger. Thriving isn't just about overcoming adversity, it's about becoming something greater because of it. That's what they can't understand, and that's what makes you unstoppable. While they're busy trying to survive, you're building an empire from the very chaos they thought would destroy you. Number 8, their fear of you is a mirror. What they hate about you isn't really about you, it's about them. The things they criticize, mock, or envy are often the very things they wish they had themselves. You're a mirror reflecting their potential back at them, and that terrifies them because deep down they know they could be more, but they're not willing to do the work. Your confidence highlights their insecurities, your drive exposes their laziness, your success makes their excuses look small. They don't hate you for what you've done, they hate you for reminding them of what they haven't. And instead of taking accountability, they project their frustrations onto you. It's easier to label you as the problem than to confront their own shortcomings. This fear of yours isn't just rooted in envy, it's rooted in regret. Every time they see you succeed, they're reminded of the moments they chose comfort over ambition, fear over courage. You're living proof that it's possible to rise above circumstances, and that proof is a constant reminder of their own failures. What really gets under their skin is your authenticity. You don't pretend to be something you're not, and that level of self-assuredness is rare. It forces them to confront their own masks, the personas they've built to hide their fears. Your presence strips away their illusions, and what's left is the truth they don't want to face. They fear you because you expose their limits. You don't just challenge the status quo, you challenge them to be better. And while some may find inspiration in your example, others choose to resent it. But that's not your problem. Their fear isn't about who you are, it's about who they're not willing to become. Number 9, you're a disruption, not a trend. Trends come and go, fading as quickly as they rise, but you are something entirely different. You're not here to follow the latest wave or chase fleeting popularity. You are the earthquake that shatters the ground they've been standing on. Your very existence doesn't just disrupt the system, it forces it to evolve. They can't figure out how to handle you because you don't fit into any of their boxes. While they play it safe, mimicking what's popular, you're over here dismantling frameworks and building something entirely new. You're unpredictable, and that terrifies them. Trends are easy to replicate, but you're untouchable because you're authentic. Your originality makes imitation impossible, and that leaves them scrambling, desperate to stay relevant in a world you've already outgrown. What really unnerves them is how permanent your impact is. While trends are temporary distractions, your presence rewrites the rules. You don't just enter the scene, you leave a mark so deep it forces everyone else to rethink how they operate. They can't dismiss you because you're not a phase, you're a movement, a shift in the way things are done. Their frustration grows because they know they can't compete. Trends may get attention, but they lack substance. You, on the other hand, bring meaning, depth, and an undeniable force that demands respect. They envy your ability to remain relevant without trying, to stand out simply by being who you are. The truth is, trends are for those who follow. You're a disruption, a force of nature that redefines the landscape and leaves nothing the same. They'll try to copy you, contain you, or dismiss you, but they'll never succeed, because trends fade, but disruptions, they last forever. Number 10, you don't follow roads, you build them. While everyone else clings to maps drawn by someone else, you're out there carving your own path. You don't just break the mold, you create an entirely new one. Where others see obstacles, you see opportunities. Where they follow well-trodden roads, you forge a trail that leaves them stumbling to catch up. The difference is mindset. Most people are content to follow instructions, to stick to the paths that feel safe and familiar, but you're not wired that way. You see the cracks in the system, the flaws in their maps, and you refuse to be confined by them. Instead of asking for directions, you make your own, and in doing so, you set a standard no one else can match. What makes this even more powerful is that your path isn't just for you, it inspires others. You're not just building roads for your own journey, you're creating a blueprint for others to follow. But here's the catch. No one can walk it the way you do. Your route is uniquely yours, shaped by your vision, your resilience, and your determination. They envy your ability to see what they can't. While they're busy trying to fit into pre-existing frameworks, you're over here reshaping the entire landscape. Their frustration stems from the fact that they're always one step behind, trying to figure out how you did it, how you continue to move forward when the rest of the world seems stuck. In the end, it's not about where the road leads, it's about the fact that you built it. That kind of originality can't be replicated, and it's exactly what makes you unstoppable. They can follow the maps all they want, but they'll never create what you've already mastered. Number 11, your success feeds their insecurity. Your success doesn't just intimidate them, it exposes them. Every level you conquer feels like a spotlight shining on their stagnation. They see your achievements as a direct reflection of everything they haven't done, and that eats at them. It's not just that you're climbing higher, it's that your climb forces them to confront the fact that they're standing still. What really frustrates them is how effortless you make it look. They don't see the long hours, the sacrifices, or the struggles you've endured to get where you are. All they see is the result, a level of success that feels out of reach for them. And instead of being inspired, they choose to be bitter. Your wins remind them of their excuses. While they blamed circumstances, lack of resources, or bad luck, you pushed forward. Your achievements strip away their justifications, leaving them face to face with the truth. They could have done more. That truth is hard to swallow, so they channel their frustration at you instead. What's even more unsettling for them is that your success isn't slowing down. It's not a one-time fluke, it's a pattern. Every milestone you reach becomes a reminder that you're not just ahead. You're creating a gap they'll never close. They might convince themselves that you got lucky, but deep down, they know luck has nothing to do with it. Your climb isn't just about reaching the top, it's about proving that hard work, vision, and resilience will always outweigh excuses. That's what they can't handle. Your success doesn't just highlight your greatness, it reveals their mediocrity, and the more you rise, the more glaring that difference becomes. Number 12, you make noise even when you're silent. Your power doesn't depend on constant action or words, it's a presence that lingers even in your absence. When you step back, they don't relax, they panic. Your silence isn't empty, it's heavy, filled with the weight of anticipation. It forces them to wonder, to overthink, and to feel your influence even when you're not actively asserting it. What terrifies them is that your silence isn't a retreat, it's a strategy. While they're filling the air with noise, trying to stay relevant, you're observing, planning, and preparing your next move. And when you do step back in, your presence is overwhelming. It's not just noticed, it's felt, like a wave crashing into everything they thought was solid. Your silence holds power because it's intentional. It shows that you don't need constant validation, that you're comfortable operating on your own terms. They're used to people trying to prove themselves, but you've already proven everything you need to. Your ability to remain composed and unbothered leaves them feeling unbalanced. Even when you're not in the room, your impact is undeniable. They talk about you, wonder what you're up to, and try to anticipate your next move. Your absence becomes louder than their presence, and that kind of influence is rare. It's not just about being heard, it's about being unforgettable. Your silence isn't passive, it's a statement. It says, I don't need to explain myself. My actions speak louder than anything you could say. And that's why they fear you, because whether you're in the room or out of it, your presence is inescapable. You don't just make noise, you become the thing they can't stop hearing, even in the quiet. Greatness isn't granted, it's earned. You didn't stumble into your power. You forged it through relentless work, unshakable confidence, and the ability to turn every obstacle into an opportunity. You're not just surviving in the face of doubt, envy, and resistance. You're thriving, building something they can't touch, and becoming the very thing they fear most. Unstoppable. The truth is, the world needs people like you. You're not just a disruptor, you're a blueprint, proof that perseverance and authenticity can shatter ceilings and rewrite rules. While others cling to comfort and mimic trends, you stand alone, redefining what's possible and forcing everyone else to level up or step aside. Let them doubt you, let them criticize, envy, and scheme. Their noise is powerless against your purpose. They can't stop someone who refuses to quit, someone who thrives in the silence of hard work and roars in the face of adversity. Their fear and insecurity aren't your burdens to carry, they're proof of your impact. And when it's all said and done, you won't just be remembered for what you achieved. You'll be remembered for how you rose, for how you didn't just play the game, but changed it entirely. That's the legacy they can never take from you. You're a force of nature, and no amount of doubt, hate, or fear will ever dim your light. So keep moving, keep building, and keep proving them wrong. The road ahead is yours to create, and the future is already bending to your will. Let them run, let them whisper, let them watch from the sidelines. The chosen ones aren't here to fit in. They're here to dominate. If you've made it this far, it's clear you're someone who doesn't settle for average, and neither do we. If you want to keep feeding that fire, staying ahead of the curve, and tapping into the power that comes with being unstoppable, then hit that subscribe button. Join a community of individuals who don't just dream, they dominate. By subscribing, you're not just getting content, you're getting access to a mindset that will keep you sharp, motivated, and ready to crush anything standing in your way. Don't just watch the greatness unfold, be a part of it. Let's keep pushing the limits together. Subscribe now, and let's make this journey legendary. You don't want to miss what's coming next.